Welcome to It's an Island Thing. I'm Lanai, and that's Brook Lee. Please don't get us confused. We got to thank Huliau, a Native Hawaiian organization that has been building communities right here in Hawaii with pure aloha. Visit their learning center in Waianae, operated by Poea Group. We got to say mahalo to Adrian Silva. He is the man on the west side. huliau.com. Go check him out. Also, mahalo to 808living.com. First-time home buyer, you need a new home.
That's his
Visit
guy.
808living.com. Go see my man, Mr. Patrick Lum.
Yes.
Also want to say mahalo to Auto Exchange. Auto Exchange, if you need a new car, they've been serving Hawaii over 30 years with luxury, performance, and used and European. Really good stuff. I got my last 6 cars from these guys.
Yeah.
And we are here at the beautiful broadcast center of Network Studio Hawaii.
New house.
And ladies and gentlemen, the legend joining us today,
So
Mr.
exciting.
Jerry Santos. How are you?
Hello, my kako.
Hi.
It's been
To you two and everybody else.
it's been a long time since I've seen you. I don't know about Brooke.
I just saw him recently.
Well,
Yeah.
I see Brooke once in a while.
We
for
see
some of the
each other at
functions that
very
we
important
get to go
cultural
to.
events.
And
yes.
you I see almost every day because you're always on my calendar.
Can't get away from
Thanks
him.
for watching.
I learned
Like
how
a
to
virus.
cook. I figure out I don't need to travel. I just let you go and find out what's going on.
That's awesome. I'm glad. We got to get you on, though, to cook.
Well,
Gotta do the cookie
We'd
show.
love to have you on.
that would be a real
number
experience.
What is your one thing that you like, when you used to tour a lot or when you're away, what is that one thing you want to come home and eat? The local thing.
Oh, it's like this chicken watercress soup that my mother used to make.
I love that.
That's deep.
Over rice.
I love
I mean,
chicken
it's simple
watercress.
plantation food, but that's the kind of thing you can cook in a hurry and taste
Yeah.
You know, before we came in here, the studio, you were talking about the chefs make all these fancy stuffs, but most people want the home cooked, the one that your grandmother, your mother cooked food recipe.
good. Well, the funny thing about food is that when I was growing up, in my house, it was like the youngest one was in charge of cooking the rice.
Yeah.
So at an early age, we had to. I'm number 9 in my family, so
You had to
when it
cook
came
rice.
around to me, that was the only thing that I really paid any attention to. And then for years, all the years that I was playing music, I lived in a little tiny studio, and I had no real kitchen. So it wasn't until I moved to the house that I live in now with a kitchen that I finally decided, it would be fun to do this. And so cooking is kind of a past 20 years revision of
New hobby?
new hobby.
Nice.
That's good, though, because that's what you should be doing.
Yes, except that when people find out
That you can cook.
that you cook for them, instead of getting birthday presents, I get like kitchen appliances.
right.
So I have all these. I'm like, what? Wait, you're giving me
Air
something so that I can
fryers.
do something to cook for you.
Oh, I would love to have that. I don't get any kitchen appliances. So do you know Mom's chicken watercress soup? You still know how to make it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
yeah.
I need that
all
recipe.
All of those early kinds of foods. When you come from families that are large and
A lot of people.
you don't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
You learn how to stretch resources.
That's really what we're trying to do is capture all of those plantation. That's how we started the show is how do you capture
Oh yeah,
it?
I've enjoyed quite a bit of watching it come into fruition on the show.
That's so awesome because I've always been a big fan of yours. Are you still playing music?
Of course.
It's the only skill I have that I've recognized in almost 74 years. So every time I think it's time to take a break or a longer break from what I'm doing is when the universe
They always grab
suddenly
you back
reminds
in.
you that remembers that you're still alive and invites you to do things. So I'm not playing in the way I used to. I used to play like 4 or 5 nights a week. And I was at the Hilton for 26 years.
Yep.
Long time you were there.
Rainbow Tower.
Once that ended with the pandemic, I realized all the things I'd been saying no to were so much more fun.
Yeah.
So, I'm still working probably more than I want to, but...
Are you touring?
Only in the sense of getting invited to go and play at places that we find interesting. I do a lot of things with Henry Capono in his shows.
Yeah.
So I have
I love him.
the artist coming up at the end of the month.
Yeah. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk more about your career because it's been pretty epic. And you probably a lot of new people that don't know you're the border water supply guy. Hanging out with Jerry Santos. Don't go anywhere. It's an island thing. Huliau, a Native Hawaiian organization, has been building stronger communities with aloha. Founded by Waianae native Adrian Nakea Silva, he is passionate about our people, education, the Hawaiian language, and our culture. Huliau has been supporting many community organizations in Hawaii through scholarships, grants, and contributions. They continue to fulfill their mission of supporting Native Hawaiians and their communities, driven by purpose and rooted in aloha. Learn more at huliau.com. Welcome back to It's an Island Thing. Jerry Santos hanging out with us. When was the first time, or do you remember your first paid gig as an entertainer?
Oh, definitely. I was, when I was high school age, I had already, been playing music in high school with my sister and my brother at places. And I never really thought of it as a profession, but it was something that we really enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
And going to Waikiki, even though we lived on the other side of the island, and coming into town was not so easy.
No.
Once they built Kahikili Highway and I could stick out my thumb, I do not recommend it at this moment in time.
Yeah.
But in those days, we would go down to Waikiki and, being too young to get into anything, walk up and down the road and up and down the beach and watch what everybody else was doing.
Yeah.
And at some point in time, I was playing. We were just kind of jamming music on the beach, and a cab driver from Love Taxi
Nice.
in those
Wow.
days heard me singing and came over and said, "You're better than the guy across the street. How come you're not working over there?" And I thought that was the silliest thing I'd heard. But then he came back later and said, "I got you an audition tomorrow."
No way.
And I thought, I don't know what this guy's smoking, but I should at least go look.
Yeah.
So I went and played a couple of songs, and they hired me. So my first paying job was at Gauguin's in front of the International Marketplace.
Wow.
What is it called?
1970, I believe.
What was it called?
Gauguin's.
Gauguin's.
Like the painter, like Gauguin.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
And all of the historic marketplace things were there.
We were just talking with Gaylord about how cool Waikiki was back in the day.
In the day,
everybody had a room.
everybody was playing
Entertainment
There was music
everywhere.
everywhere.
And the hotels treated our important Hawaiian musicians in a way that nobody is doing now. There were
Yeah,
showrooms
for sure.
everywhere,
Yeah.
and you got to watch these big productions
100%.
with Marlene Tsai and Emma
Alfred
Leary.
Apaka.
Alfred Apaka.
Yeah.
Don,
Alfred was a little bit before me.
Yeah.
Uncle Don.
Just a taste.
And then tell everybody about the group that you, and how did that come about? How did it, your first group?
I played for a number of years by myself in all over Waikiki. Oftentimes I hear, like even on PBS, they have shows about what Waikiki was like, and I keep thinking, gosh, you should call me up because I've had a long history with Waikiki.
Yes.
I've played at just about every hotel at some point in time. I started by myself, so I did a number of things, and by the time 73 came along, I had already played at the Arena and the Shell and done some things and had some accomplishment of my own. And like many Hawaiian musicians, I thought to be successful means you have to take it to a bigger market.
Yeah.
Right.
So, armed with guitar in 1973 on my 21st birthday, I believe, I headed off to California. I was in LA for a little while, made my way up to San Francisco, and had a good time and met some really nice people. Nobody was hiring you and paying you any money. So it was kind of counterproductive. I was learning a lot of things there, but making not as good money as I did at home because people knew me here.
Right.
Yeah.
And the good thing was that when you're away, you find, without knowing, that the thing that makes you stand out and the thing that makes you a foundation is exactly who you are, not trying to be somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm singing all these songs about Busted Flat and Baton Rouge. I have no idea what that is. I've never been to the other side of the ocean. So San Francisco was a good place where they had a lot of these. There was a place called the Holy City Zoo, where the first 10 people got to sign up, and you got to play 3 songs in front of the audience.
There's a lot of theaters still left from
In
that.
the Clement area. That became a very famous comedy club as the years went by. But in that space, I got to meet a lot of musicians from all over the country who had come there, and we were all trying to do the same thing. And it was there that I started realizing that if I found a way to make my voice different, then it would stand out there. the ironic thing is that once I got to that space and people were accepting.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Hold on to that thought. We're going to finish this story. Don't go anywhere. It's an island thing. We'll be right back.
Confused about where interest rates are going or the best time to buy or sell property? If you, your family, and friends have any questions about buying or selling a home, hit up the realtor I trust.
Hello, this is Patrick. How can I help you?
Hawaiian-born Patrick Lum at 808living.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. By the way, mention our podcast and he'll gift you a $1,000 cash credit toward your closing costs.
I'm Patrick. Give me a call. I've got you covered.
808living.com.
Yes.
Welcome back to It's an Island Thing. Jerry Santos, you're in San Francisco. You're playing with all these entertainers from all over the world. You're 21 years old.
And just really having a good time. Again, the ironic thing is that once I got to the place where I was writing songs that were blending Hawaiian music with who I was and where I came from, home started calling again. And I wrote a kahalua song for my sister who had taught me to play the guitar. And that was the song that led me back home, thinking I was coming back home to replenish my coffers and, set out again. But I arrived back home knowing that my music was perfect for the times. Hawaiians were coming of age. We were wondering why we didn't know our language, why we didn't know our history, and all.
Yeah, it was the Renaissance.
All of the things that I was writing were, speaking to those subjects, and everything happened very quickly after that. Robert Beaumont invited me to play with him, and within a year we had recorded our first album and kind of snowballed from there.
What was the album called?
Like a Seabird in the Wind. But really the songs are from that Renaissance period of, looking at ourselves and the things that we were talking about in those early 70 years. Why don't we know our language? Why don't we know our history? How would it make our lives different? What do we do with this massive invasion of people from the outside world? When I left, there were still places you could go to be alone. I could go up to the pali and sit down and meditate. Now you cannot do those kind of things. And even then, it was starting to grow quickly.
That's awesome.
So to have that happening at the same time, it just really snowballed into using the music as part of. Everybody collaborated at that moment in time.
It was a dovetailing because that was happening, Renaissance was happening, Hokulea was happening. It was like a real sort of.
It was actually pre-Hokulea.
Yeah, it was like the whole island, or at least our consciousness as people, were sort of just being.
And people of my age group were coming. It wasn't like we didn't grow up knowing a lot of that stuff. I graduated from Comeme in 1969. You
couldn't even dance hula.
I learned Spanish. When I was
you
there.
couldn't even.
They had
Japanese,
cultural history classes, and Sarah Keahi, who was a longtime educator there, was one of the first Hawaiian language teachers to come. So things were really changing. It was also the late 60s and early 70s. It was a mood of the
whole world.
Was Don in Waikiki had a showroom where at the time?
The showrooms were filled with people like that. I think Don, when I was backtracking back to the early days, Don had moved from Dukes and gone on down the road to the Cinerama and Alopaka. From Lanai, of all things.
We're related through marriage, by the way.
Alopaka was in Dukes at the time, and he used to send people and say, go get that boy and tell him come back here and sing, and invite me up on the stage to sing with his group. Iva Kinimaka was there.
Uncle Iva.
And all of those people.
And Uncle Danny, right, had his showrooms
Danny
at that point?
was at the Kahala where he was for
forever.
Oh, he
really
was there
long
forever,
time.
So wait, you had your own showroom at where?
I never had a showroom. I was
he was like a troubadour.
It was kind of like the Hawaii idea of James Taylor.
That's what I think of in my head. Is just you with your beautiful long locks and your guitar.
The nice thing is that I did have the beautiful long locks, and I get pictures to prove them.
Who did you look up to when you started in the business?
The weird thing is that I never thought of it in that way, and I never studied anywhere. I went to the university. Actually, it wasn't until my second album that my mother said to me, when are you going to go back to school and get a real job?
Oh, really?
So I never thought of it in that way. I did admire the folks who did Hawaiian music well.
Yeah, well, I'm going to
admire-
let you think more about who did you listen to. We got to take a quick break. Sorry about that. Don't go anywhere. Jerry Santos is hanging out with us.
my
It's an
favorite.
island thing. Welcome back to It's an Island Thing. You got Lanai, Brooke, and
Hi.
Uncle Jerry Santos talking about who you grew up listening to or who did you admire back when you first started.
My mother didn't know what to make of me because my mom, in our family, it is the Hawaiian tree that goes back. And she was always insistent that we learn Hawaiian music. So she sang to me all the time. Those are some of the first songs that I learned.
Nice.
Was in that concept. Auntie Genoa Keawe lived next door to my mother's brother in
Wow.
Papakolea.
Okay.
So when we would visit the house, my mom would say, lady, I just played you on the radio.
Yeah.
That's her over there.
Oh, wow.
So I grew up with all of that kind of music, but I had John Denver next to, Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
My mother was very confused by who this person
Oh, yeah.
was going to be. I think I'm grateful for that because it's allowed me to have a different perspective and a broader palette, I think.
yeah.
Hawaiian music is something that I have grown to be more confident about as the years have passed by. And the more you learn anything,
Yeah.
you realize the less you know. But because I have a background in, folk music and like jazz and rock
Yeah.
and roll and everything, I can take those things and do it in a broader palette, which
Yeah.
is
But
exactly
But you guys were, I feel like you
every
guys were the
generation did.
first generation that was melding contemporary
100%.
Hawaiian music. Because prior
Yeah.
to that, the stuff you grew up listening to, the stuff that KCCN was playing, was Hawaiian music, traditional Hawaiian music.
You also have to remember that during that period of time, it had come from the generation where people were being told, to be Hawaiian to impress the rest of the world. They
Right.
weren't-
Yeah,
There wasn't
yeah.
a time when people were doing it for our own people.
themselves. Yeah,
And then
yeah.
in the 60s, you had Eddie Kamai come
Yes.
forward with the Sons of Hawaii and
Right.
people like that. So you ask who I admired in terms of that, it was
Right.
these people who said, look at how much treasure we have in our,
Yeah.
at Kamehameha, we learned all the Helen Deshay Beamer music.
Right.
But we didn't think about it as young people.
Right, right.
Now I've spent the last 30 years of my life learning all the master's works and studying the way they put works together. People say, don't you write in Hawaiian? And I say, I do, but unless I think it's of the quality that I know is possible,
Right.
I keep it for myself and for
Yeah.
those moments when I share it with intimate circles.
Where do you think it's going now? Do you like where it's going now? Do you like this contemporary reggae
Are we
vibe?
having a Hawaiian conversation? Is
Yeah.
this happening?
No, you know what? This conversation has been going on. I remember him being in the hot seat when we had a discussion at the Ala Moana Hotel.
Yes.
Back in the old days.
Yes.
And he had to have be the person who moderated a discussion
Yes.
on what is Hawaiian music and does Hawaiian have a place
Yes.
in it. We were all there, Brother Nolan and everybody.
Yes.
There were comments like, "I'm Hawaiian. I sing anything I sing is Hawaiian,
It's Hawaiian.
music."
Yeah.
Right.
So
I wish we taped that.
yeah, it would have been a good discussion. But this is a discussion people have been having forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
it is.
even back in the jazz was part of Hawaiian music.
Yes. That Hapa Haulis.
George Kainapau and all of those kinds of
Right.
people who did music. So every generation has been affected.
By
the
the
beginning
music.
of Hawaiian music was the missionaries bringing hymns.
Right.
True.
Hymns.
Yes.
So every
True.
generation has
The
had.
Portuguese brought the ukulele.
We've seen the reggae stuff. We've seen the different kinds of things. I think for me, at this moment in time, it's exciting to see all of the things that we talked about as younger people, our other generations take for granted. They know their
Yeah.
history.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Most of them know their
Yeah.
language.
That's true.
Yeah.
But they're not the same kind of Hawaiians because they're not growing up in the same space. Many of them
Yeah.
are growing up in an urban environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're talking about culture and they're talking
Yeah.
about connection. How do you get that emotional connection to the
Right.
places. That's the only place I see that maybe there can be a little
It'll
bit
be
more.
different.
It's and
Yeah.
change is inevitable, right?
Right.
I want to talk more about you. You guys got to go to our YouTube channel to catch
We're
the
going to get into the Hawaiian
to catch the
thing.
full podcast. So thanks for coming on.
It's going to get
Jerry
hot.
Santos, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
Oh, mahalo.
Welcome back to It's an Island Thing. This is the extended version, the long version.
Here we go.
All the adjectives that Brooke does not like for me to say. Jerry Santos is here. We're talking about his career and music and where is music going. And I guess, did you answer? Do you like where it's going? Is there any bands that you like today?
You know, I don't think it's a matter of like or dislike. I think it's a matter of seeing where it's all going.
Mm-hmm.
I sit around in dismay. I try to always think of the music that I'm playing in a different way, but of course I'm at an age where it doesn't progress as quickly as some of the younger generations.
But you were a pioneer. You're a pioneer at your time, so you kind of were catching. You didn't get the flack from any other Hawaiians saying, "Hey, you shouldn't be doing this."
No, they got flack.
We got it.
Yeah.
Because we were blending
Right.
Genres.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I got scolding by Auntie Alice Namakilua on the radio at KCCN because I had written the song Umalia, which is about empowering our youth, saying you have pride in yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's all I saw in my brain when I was writing the song. Auntie thought I should have chosen a different name. She associated the name Malia with the Virgin Mary and thought that so, you know, we were not
On the same page.
and the other thing is that, you know, nowadays we've gone almost full circle. KCCN radio, as Brooke was mentioning, was playing the Hapahaole music
Yeah.
and going back to the classics and playing a lot of the music that would draw the tourist industry in. Nobody knew what to make of us. So at first, KCCN didn't play our music.
Really?
Yeah. And even I went to school with Skylark. She's a couple years younger than me. And Kimo is a couple years older than me.
Right.
But they didn't play our music
They
at first.
put you in the category of non-traditional.
Right.
Well,
And
so
there
they
was-
thought you guys were Haole music?
they didn't have a place for it in the radio station at that time.
Yeah.
You know, and then we went through a period of time where different radio stations were mixing genres. Yeah.
Yeah.
KIKI, Stephen B. Williams,
Yes.
Yeah.
Ron Jacobs. Those kinds of people were actually the ones who started playing the Olomana album
Yeah.
a lot. And then KCCN followed. So we're grateful for that. And it was nice to make our way back to Hawaiian radio and
Right.
be accepted.
Right.
But, you know, everybody who tries something different is going to kind of fall through the cracks. And now it's even in those, I keep saying those days, but in earlier times, not that distant, when you recorded an album, especially if you were already a recording artist, you knew that you were going to at least make your money back. You could take it to the radio station, they would play it on the air.
Yeah, then people would go buy the record.
Now the process is so confusing because
Yeah.
there's so many different kinds of
Streaming and how you get
and
it.
so many
and-
thousands of people who are producing things
Yeah.
with all kinds of technology.
Right.
So I don't know if I would have survived in this moment in time if I
Right.
hadn't spent
You would, because you would have
50
adjusted.
years. And I think the other thing that saved my career is that I've always enjoyed playing for people.
Live.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what brought
That's
me
your
to
passion.
Waikiki when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Right.
I like being in a place where I can play the music, enjoy the people I'm playing the music with, and hopefully make people feel something when they leave. And because of that, you know,
That
it's
energy.
extended
So
to
Olamana is the OG. Like Olamana is the original, like start of that contemporary style of music. Olamana comes first, then a Kalapana, then a C&K, then a Beamer
you tell-
Brothers.
No, it's actually back. It's actually backwards. The strange thing is that the CNK was actually the ones who made kind of a big breakthrough in terms of being accepted outside of Hawaii.
Well, they signed the record deal.
Right, and Kalapana was proteges, so they kind of went. The people who were doing kind of what we were doing was Sunday Manoa, Peter Moon.
okay.
Can you tell
and
us
they
how?
were a little ahead of us, and the Beamer brothers, Kiola and Kapolei.
They
I
were
forgot
in
the
that.
Beamers.
Kiola is my classmate from Kamehameha.
Got it.
You see the poster there?
The thing that would set us apart, I think, from the rest of them at that moment in time is that political and social issues have always been part of who I am.
Got it.
Being a child of the 60s, the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
And then
things
going
that-
to San Francisco,
so
I'm
learning,
sure.
and coming back home and seeing all of those things. So if you look at what we're saying in the songs, we're all kind of saying things that head in a certain direction. But I think for me, it's always been more of a political edge.
Got it.
A lot of performers would shy away from making those kinds of things.
Yeah, we tell them not to do
When
it.
we used our music to help with the Kaho'olawe issue,
That's my grandma. That's Aunt
lot-
Mary. That's
a
Mary
lot of-
Siwa.
yeah, a lot of things we lost a lot of things that would have been possible.
Yeah.
People some did not take kindly to that.
Right.
The fact that we were attaching just much like we're seeing in music today. You know, you play for the wrong president, you're in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's important to say what it's necessary for, and in doing so, we got to see so much of Hawaii that I never would have seen. To play in classic places like Kaho'olawe, sitting around the fireplace at Kaho'olawe with all the kupuna lying on their cots and being able to sing to them and watch people get up and dance melody Kaho'olawe in the firelight with the man who wrote the song. I wouldn't have had those experiences if I didn't do that with the music.
Can you tell us how Olomana started?
Olomana started because I had known Robert Beaumont. He played music. It was on Kapiolani. Cox Root. No, what was it called? Bully Hayes on Kapiolani. It was a bar, and I went. My friend Cindy Combs took me there, and I heard Robert play, and I was playing at Chuck Steakhouse in Hawaii Kai, now the Kona Brewing Company.
Yeah.
Nice.
Before the shopping center. There was nothing there except the club.
Yeah.
It was a wild place, especially after closing. Anyway, Robert would come and see me there, and we got to be friends. And then I went to California, and when I came home, he had started a group called Olomana with a bunch of guys from Kailua and Waimanalo. I don't think it lasted very long, and they were playing cover music. And he had heard Omalia. There was a disc jockey on KCCN named Al Kalama who actually came to Chuck Steakhouse and recorded me playing a couple of songs. And even though they weren't professional recordings, he played them on the radio. So Robert had heard Omalia, and when I came back to California, I went down to the Black Angus in Waikiki, and they were playing, and he said, "Are you the guy singing that Olomana song?" And I said, "Yeah." And after that, his group broke up within a few weeks.
Wow.
You know, and I the way I thought of things at that point in time, I was like, I didn't really join anything. It was always, I thought it was temporary. So I was like, yeah, that sounds like fun. So I started playing music with him, and that was the time when I brought my original stuff and he brought his original stuff. So suddenly it was not just playing other people's music, we were making our own music.
And it was just the two of you?
At the beginning, it was just the two of us. And then as time went by, it added more people. Unfortunately, most of them are gone by the wayside now. I played in Kailua yesterday at the Kailua Kanikapila. Kavika Kahiapo does this monthly shows over there in the parking lot in front of Long's.
Right.
And I was cracking up because I got to share with the audience that when we released our first album, one of the promotional parties was in front of the old Holiday Mart, which was over where Target is now. So it took me like 50 years, and I finally made it to the other side of the parking lot.
That's classic. And then, do you own everything Olomana?
That was the other thing that was interesting at that period of time, because most people thought in order to record you had to have somebody else. We had no money. We borrowed money. I think Robert borrowed money from his mother then, and the album was done cheaply. Jimmy Linkner, who turned out to be so important to everybody, was
Jim Linkner.
so good about helping us to do that. And then Peter Moon had just started his own production company and distributor, so everything was built in. Everybody was there willing to help. They thought what we were doing was good.
Right.
So everybody was on board with trying to get this into fruition. So we started our own label, whatever that may mean. All of the things that we recorded ourselves and a couple of other people on our label all still belong to me and Mike Kelly, my partner.
And do you have all those masters still?
I have all the masters and more. I have all the things that you can't sell anymore except online, like CDs and cassette tapes and albums. And I'm waiting for somebody to show up with a 8-track.
Oh my God.
I have all of the
I have some of those
I have
too.
all of the different mediums, but I never
Yeah.
saved an 8-track.
Yeah. I have DAT. Remember the DAT? The DAT.
Oh, gosh.
the
If
If you
digital
have an 8-track
analog.
out there somewhere in
Yeah.
your guys'
The
attic,
Olamana stuff, that's a
Please
real
let us
collector's
know.
item.
No, do you...
he's looking for an 8-track.
Because we were talking about this with Gaylord. They have a bunch of stuff. He has all the masters. They got them all back, finally. And then I asked him, is there anything on this stuff that you haven't released? He goes, oh, yeah. And I said, why don't you release it? And what did he say? He goes, he didn't think about that or something like that.
Yeah,
Well, it's
because
just-
you can clean it up.
It's bits and pieces of my Lenny here and like, you know,
Yeah.
like stuff
all
like
of it
that.
is probably that way, and the way they tracked everything and did things
it's all
before.
separated.
There were things that we did like during the course of those recordings that I did with Robert, especially the old ones, where the songs didn't fit into the final format of what we were trying to say. We thought of albums collectively. Yeah, people don't play music that way anymore. But if you
Yeah,
listen
yeah.
to our albums, they start to set up the conversation. Each song is a continuation of that conversation, and the last song on the album is meant to leave you thinking about everything that you've just heard. So it was conscientiously put together that way.
That's awesome. And that's the way you used to listen to it on a record.
And
Well,
that's,
yeah, because
you
they
know what I
weren't
mean?
singles.
And
It's not like now.
It was a
that's
conversation.
still the way that I do my live performances, because
That's
for me it's
awesome.
always been about a conversation.
Yeah.
And therein is the other dilemma with Hawaiian language music. At the time when I was incorporating, after my partner Robert passed away, it would have been, like Kalapana has done. You bring somebody on board who can play those parts, and you can
to
play
fill
those
in,
songs.
sort of.
And it allows you. There's good things. Makahasan's allows you to create that body of music that people love. But
Right.
for me, it didn't feel right to try and mimic what Robert had done.
Right.
It was almost the universe was saying,
Yeah.
now what?
Yeah.
Haunani Apoliona had been a friend of mine for years. I admired those first classes of Hawaiian language people at the university. She knew about my studying Hawaiian language and trying to progress in that way. And it just happened by accident. We were doing a show at the Andrews Amphitheater up at the university. I think it was one of the Kanikapila shows. And Robert wasn't there yet. And I had like 5 guitars to tune. And I knew that Haunani played a 12-string in the tuning that Robert used.
Yeah.
So I asked her if she would help me tune the guitar. And she sat down and tuned the guitar, and we started playing some music. So after Robert passed, it seemed to me that, again, the universe was saying, why don't you try this?
Yeah.
It was totally different in one way, from the more contemporary stuff I'd been doing with Olamana in the early days, but it was consistent with where the sense of being Hawaiian was going in
Right.
terms of the musical thought. So all of those years with Haunani,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, what happens in music is as you get older, even people who love to play music
Yeah.
find themselves with other opportunities.
Yeah.
When the Office of Hawaiian Affairs was starting to be formed, after the Constitutional Convention, we took our sound system and traveled with the people who were trying to get people on board with the Oha to every island, even Lanai.
Nice.
And did concerts, not just us. Roland Casimiro was there, Brother Nolan. A lot of people would
Yeah.
go. And we would do these concerts. We played at the first inauguration for the first board of trustees for Oha, and the next day Robert was gone.
Wow.
And then Haunani came to play with me, and then Haunani became not only an OHA trustee, but then
Right.
became the chairperson for OHA for years.
Right.
So a lot of the musical journey I've had has been interwoven with having a front seat in
To
terms
all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
things
that's
that have happened
true.
in Hawaii.
You better write a book.
I know, before I forget the names. Yeah.
Hey.
Do you have any songs, though? I was going back to the finding all the reels and stuff. Do you have any songs that haven't been released?
In all of it, the stuff with Robert and some of the stuff we recorded with Haunani Dam.
Are you
going to
release
it? I don't know. I've been writing a lot. People say, how come you haven't recorded?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played a lot of songs, new songs in the live shows and stuff. But since the 90s, when I think it was 92 or 93.
You don't want to be like Prince and you have a million songs in the vault and
After I'm
nobody
dead,
saw them. Yeah.
No, when I'm gone, people are going to open the storage lockers and see all of this collection of posters that's going to, I have music, I have posters,
I would like to copy some to put on our studio if I can.
I have things from people that I did things with. Jack Lord, we used to do No Greater Love. Valentine's Day is coming up. Jack Lord, when he was alive, used to do No Greater Love at Tripler Hospital.
That's
so
awesome.
we would put on a concert downstairs, and me and Melvin ended up being like two of the people that were tapped to bring the entertainment.
Wow. Yeah.
And they would pipe it up into the different rooms
for the patient.
I have handwritten notes from Jack Lord that I think of as a treasure.
Wow, you got to put the book together then.
Yeah, so the music is important, but all of the things it's allowed me to do are...
Because last year, he came and was part of the Naleo's 40th anniversary. He performed. Ku'uhomeo Kahaluu turned 50.
Yes, it's
last year.
It was written in the summer of 1973 in San Francisco.
Do you have any merch with Olomana?
Oh yeah, all the stuff I did with Robert and all the stuff with Haunani I still have, but you know, there's no distributors anymore. You can sell them online.
You gotta. So do you see like what's happening with Kalapana and the older groups? The younger generation is now hearing it, so it's making a comeback, and they're starting to make T-shirts and hats and all these.
Show him the sticker,
so like
bamboo sticker.
This group, I can't remember this company.
There's a shop down on King Street.
Yeah, but if
he's approached me a couple of times about T-shirts and stuff. But again, it's kind of weird sensation because Willie Paikuli, my drummer, is gone. Robert is gone.
Yeah.
Robert's younger brother, Bren, who was the bass player, is gone. Wally Suenaga, my bass player, no longer is able to play. And so really the older part of Olomana is not functioning. It just seems weird to be, No,
but I think if you look at it into the perspective of your legacy lives on and you got this whole new generation, it's going... Kalapana, Olomana, C&K. It's all coming back around like a cycle. So I think you should take advantage of it.
And I think it's good. I mean, it's like some of the songs that we were learning, Hawaiian songs, they had come back around in a full circle. Kalu is interesting that Brooke is mentioning because I wrote that for my sister as a way of explaining how I was feeling at that moment in time. I remember who we were. I remember who we are. I've changed a little bit, but I'm coming home.
Yeah.
So I was saying that to her. So the fact that of all the songs sometimes I write songs that I spent so much time on. I think this is really an opus. People are going to love it, and people don't love it. They just kind of like, oh, that's
They're
nice.
like, it's a nice song.
And Kalu was written in its first take. I sat down and I wrote those words, and the song came out exactly like that. So the fact that is the song that has remained constant to all this. And when young people still come up to me and say, oh, I love that song, or I go someplace and I hear people playing it and they don't even know that I'm the person who wrote it.
Right.
It's had country versions, reggae versions.
It's
There's
crazy.
a harp version.
Man, I want to do it. I want to help you if you want to do it. You should do a T-shirt and a hat with all the lyrics on the back of your shirt.
Oh, gosh,
Packaging
that'd be
of
so
that
funny.
song.
Yeah, and unfortunately, again, because I'm almost 74 now, the person I wrote the song for and my Hanai family in Kahalu, everything is different. Everybody's gone. So
I think it would be so cool.
He was at Punahou Cardinal. He was at Punahou Alumni Luau last year. Sorry, Kamehameha, Ikalamai.
Okay, let's tell this story.
He's sitting on the stage singing this song. I went to Punahou, people, just for the record. I went to Punahou for a long time, fifth grade to sophomore year. Graduated from Kamehameha, but okay. So I'm sitting at my alumni luau, class of 89, rah. He's on the stage. He's playing the thing. I'm walking by a bunch of people, class of whatever, 60, whatever. I walk by there like, cool, I love this song. Who's playing the song? I lean over their plate. I go, the guy who wrote it.
You mean that old guy out there with the ball head? That's
Olomana on the stage.
The reason I'm saying is because that Punahou thing was a mini version. Unlike the extended, I have to find a contracted version. How's that? Contracted.
Nice.
Does that work all right?
Nice, yes.
A version of Henry's celebration of the C&K song.
Henry's
so
was
all
there.
Of us
we're there. Roby was there.
Kimi Minor. A bunch of us. But at the same time that I was there, because it was Henry's alumni thing that was happening, I got a picture of my class at the Kamehameha Schools luau. And they were like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "Oh God, don't anybody tell them I'm here."
Oh, that's right, because they happened on the
It was
same
the same day.
Oh.
And I've never actually, the only time I went was the year that our class was responsible for the luau. So I went and did all of the cocktail music.
Right.
That was my contribution. But I keep telling them, you guys have real jobs. You get more money than me. You keep having these things on the weekend. Have it on a weekday. I'll come.
Yeah.
So entertainers never get the holidays.
So to have it on the weekend and to have not gone to a luau in that
That's
capacity.
right, I forgot.
And then suddenly I'm sitting at Punahou.
Playing his song.
I was like, don't tell anybody.
The Hollies is losing their
Don't
minds.
tell anybody I was here.
Well, you know why I bring up the merch thing? Like, you see the poster behind you? The Beamers and
Honolulu
rap.
City Lights and Poi
So
Dog
a lot
live
of
concert.
these posters, these are all from back in the day. All
And
of
he
these.
ripped these off the internet. By
I
the way.
have
He didn't pay for these.
Olamana and the Beamers posters from like Contemporary Hawaiian Music
I would love to hang
Festival.
some in
So
here if I
there's
can.
Tons of the
11
different shows.
times
Olamana was the first act to play where they have Kanakaole Tennis Stadium.
Yeah.
Where Memory Monarch is.
Yeah. Gosh, look at me. I'm having a senior moment.
Okay.
It was named something else at the very
Oh,
beginning.
was it?
And we were the first people to play there. So I have a poster.
See, that's so awesome.
And there's a law firm downtown who occupies the building where the Territorial Tavern was.
Yeah.
And apparently they are going out of their lease. And I just got contacted saying that, did I play at the Territorial Tavern? They're trying to think of people who played there. I was like,
Booga Booga did.
I'm texting them the pictures.
Oh, nice.
Did
That's
I play there? I
awesome.
was there
Receipts,
five nights a week,
receipts.
two shows a night. When dinner was $6.95.
Wow.
Wait,
That's
did you
so
just
cool.
spill some tea? Are they turning it back into a territorial tavern?
No, I
maybe?
don't think
They're
so.
probably going
okay.
to put pictures up and stuff, right?
I don't know.
Well,
I'm speaking out of turn. Sorry, Kimo. Kimo, you know Kimo.
Oh, I see my message.
No, but these posters and stuff now, the next generation are now buying them.
The posters?
Yeah,
Oh.
these were like $40. If you wanted the real clean one, you
pay
paid
that.
like $40. Like this one was for sale, that
ripped
was
it
for
off
sale.
online.
People bring LPs to the show for me to sign when
Yeah.
I play at different places, and then they tell me they bought them on eBay.
Yes.
And some of them are signed with, I've signed them to somebody else's name.
Wow.
And they pay all this money to get that. I'm like,
Right.
just call me.
No,
call him.
I think you should
Pay
print
him.
them and put them on a
him.
website and sell them. I can help you do it.
Well, yeah.
I think you
all
really
of that is
should.
really good, but I
It's-
really want all of the stuff I've been writing over the last 2 decades. I think there's some really without
You need to record.
yeah. Well, we've done it at Windward Community College.
Oh, yes.
Camuela, who plays with me, does those shows for the school, and we've done a couple. I've done a couple with him now, and they've recorded the songs, and a lot of them have been the newer material.
Nice.
Actually, one of them he called the unrecorded or newer material stuff. So I just want to have a record of all of those things. I'm not even crazy about the idea of manufacturing them to sell, which
Yeah.
would be nice. But at this point, I'm feeling the urgency of getting them heard before
Yeah.
they can't be heard anymore.
Well, even records have made a huge comeback. I'm putting Three Local Boys on a record. Because records are cheap to
And they
make.
sound so much better.
Oh, I love that sound. At the beginning. I've been looking for a record player.
And you could do things, when you make an LP,
Yeah.
of course they have to, the
Yes.
stylist cuts the grooves,
Right.
and then they put the vinyl on and they make a press, and then they
Yes.
press out of that. So in those days, when you did the first press of the vinyl in the studio, I went, I think twice, once for Olamana, and I think Sandwich Out Band maybe. But to be there in the studio, and Jim Linkner, bless his heart, had a real sense of humor. So in the first LP, he scratched into the mold, Kona Gold is the best,
Nice.
so that when they printed the first, I don't know how many
Yeah.
number of records, it actually came out. So if you turn the LP sideways,
says-
if you have an original
one of the
pressing, because the
Oh.
early pressings, you can see that scratched into the
Wow.
vinyl as you turn it.
Do you
That's
have
so
one?
crazy.
Do you have one?
I do have one, yes.
Awesome.
That's
And then
so
the second
crazy.
song was an outtake. Robert's brother Ren started playing this bass lick, and Robert started singing Louie Louie. Who knew that it was, a reggae beat? I was just at PBS Hawaii. I'm going to do the Halekulani live.
Oh, you're doing it this year?
PBS, yeah, next month.
Nice.
So I was just there, and one of the technicians came out, a young man who had the album, and he said, "I'm doing this thing on the original origin of reggae music and
Yes,
Hawaiian
he's doing
music."
a documentary.
You know the
Yes,
documentary?
I'm actually. They shot me. I think I shot for it.
So he said, I bought this. He's one of the ones that asked me to sign the
Yes.
album. He goes, I was interested in this piece at the end of the album. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, the outtake. So we were just fooling around in the studio. And then as an outtake, it's like the album ends, the second album. And then
bonus track.
There's a longer pause. So only if you leave the needle on do you know this. And then the reggae beat starts. And me and Robert are scatting to this Louie Louie song.
Really?
And at the end of it, it says, we got to go now, we got to go now. And that's how the album ends.
Wow.
And I had forgotten all about that. He goes, this is like what year? I said, 1977. So Ren was a little ahead of his time, I think.
That's so funny.
See, but you see what I mean about people collecting them? That guy does I just forgot his name. He does a hip hop podcast. So his podcast is about Hawaii hip hop artists. He works at PBS and he started it there. He's that era of generation or collectors.
If he's listening, I call him my, Uncle Jerry remembers you fondly. It's just I have trouble with names these days.
No, I know his name and I just forgot. It's at the tip of my tongue.
That's me every
I
night
don't know
at work.
who you are,
Yeah.
but it's
Kamala says, who is that? I go over there, introduce yourself.
Yeah. So
I
you
shouldn't
know.
be telling my secrets.
Yeah, go introduce
Uncle,
yourself.
That's your niece.
Well, I do the same thing. I'm like, if I don't introduce you, I don't know their name. So say your name, so they tell you our name. You know,
I got to do that a lot for him.
But if you have a lot of that merch stuff, I think it's a good idea to save it, keep it up, or sell it, reproduce it, whatever you want to do it.
Again, it was not my, I didn't conscientiously do this, but in my storage locker just had a roof leak through the last storm.
Oh, no.
So they told me and said, can you come and clear some of this out? Maybe put you in another locker. And I went there and I was like, all these boxes of stuff. Some my mom had kept for me since
oh my goodness,
my 4-H club days, all my horse trophies and my ribbons.
What are you going to do with it?
So I took a picture and sent them to Kalamoela. See, I told you I was a champion. It says right there, champion.
What are you going to do with it?
I don't know. It's just all sitting there. And in that collection is, my Kamehameha School's yearbooks in 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah.
Nice.
My house washed away in the 8th grade, so the 7th grade one was gone.
Man, I wish I had a lot of my old.
Maybe your mama has those things. I remember meeting your mother in Lanai. She picked me up at the airport and took me to a concert.
Everybody says that.
And she couldn't have been nicer. When she told me she was your mother, I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? He's not as nice as you.
Why is your mom picking everybody up
So my
at
mom
the
used to work at Hawaiian Air for years, and we only had 2 taxis. And through my whole life growing up, people would be at our house, just total strangers. After a while, you just got used to it. You just thought it was mom's friends. But you find out later that my mom would say, hey, the taxi not going to be here for a little while. I take you to the hotel. From that drive, which was only 10 minutes to the hotel, she made friends with them, and they would come to our house and eat. She always invited people over to eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
A lot of aloha, very comfortable immediately.
Yeah.
It was a concert in the middle of town. It was a community event.
The Dole Park concert.
So I thought she had something to do with the event.
Organizer.
She sees somebody Sunday come. Half the people she don't know, but I'm not kidding you. At least 2 or 3 times a week, people will come up to me and say, "I met your mom. She picked me up from the airport." And that's her thing. She does. She's been doing it for the last 50, 60 years.
And not only that, but once we got there, we sat and talked, and I told her about those earlier days when I had come with the Kaho'olawe group and we had concerts up in the middle of the island, in the middle of all the pine trees.
That's so awesome to hear. She's an amazing lady. She used to take in runaways. She still does. She's helped the Boys and Girls Club. She's just an amazing lady. And everyone knows. Everyone calls her the mayor of Lanai. Frank loves her. Frank De Lima. Frank was supposed to, it's a great story. Like 3 years ago, Frank was supposed to go to Lanai to do a thing, and the hotel was sold out or something like that. So they said, we can give you, put you at the other hotel, but we have to charge you or something. And he was like $1,000 a night. Not cheap, right?
Manele?
And my mom picked him up from the airport.
Yeah.
So if my mom goes, I'll wait here till you check in, something like that. And then Frank comes back. He goes, oh, you're not going to believe this. They wouldn't let me go in. She goes, home. No, you save your money, Frank. You go stay at my house. Every time Frank goes to Lanai, guess where Frank stays? At my mom's house. He stays at my mom's house. And every time Frank stays or goes to Lanai, he has to call me and tell me, I just want to let you know, Yomara, she can pick me up. She's so nice.
So crazy.
Yeah.
Lanai Lodge is all we knew in the old days.
Right.
There would be like 6 of us in one of those little tiny rooms.
Yeah, there's only 13
There's
rooms.
absolutely nothing to do
Yes.
after those Kaho'olawe events. So we'd have to
Jam.
spend the night. I remember us all lying on our back with our feet up against the wall going, gosh, I wonder if there's any place to go.
No, you were at the place to be.
Yeah.
You were at the lodge. That was the place
was
to
the
be.
place.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
only
that's
place.
so great to hear. I'm glad
So
you met my
crazy.
mom. Have you been back since?
I've played at the actually
The
when
hotel?
they opened Manele Blay, Jay and Laren and I were singing together at the time. So we
Oh, nice.
Because they have the
did
new
did
amphitheater
the
now.
opening and
Well,
then
Kavika does a lot of the booking now.
well, yesterday I played in Kailua, as I said, and Kavika has asked me to go to Lanai a number of times when he was doing
Yeah.
them, I guess, at Manele. I don't know where, but
still is, yeah.
every time he asked me, I couldn't go. And then when he did ask me, COVID happened and everything shut down. So yesterday he told me that he's starting it up
Yeah,
again.
yeah, because
And he
we're
wanted me
going to
come
try to
months
do
ago.
some stuff with dinner and music, but you should go. You got to go.
Well, things change. It's not like,
Yeah.
you have as much access and you cannot. Somebody gave me 2 nights at the Manele Bay, and somebody else for my birthday gave me like money to use there. I thought, thank God they gave the
Yeah.
money, because otherwise I would have been starving.
You'd be
all the
in
time
your
I was-
room.
Yeah.
Eating-
No, you go
eating
eat
a
at my
pie.
mom's
You
place.
couldn't pay for anything there.
Chili
My mom
Barbara.
has taken so many people from the hotel, entertainers, to go eat at her house and then bring them back.
And because I was a boarder at Kamehameha in the early days,
Yeah.
Kahaluu was before Kahikili Highway and all of those things. You could board still.
Yeah.
So I boarded 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. So
Oh,
I had
cool.
roommates from Lanai. As
Oh,
well
did
as
you
all
really?
the different islands, which really was a great thing to
Yeah,
experience.
yeah. Yeah,
Saul-
Lanai was...
Saul Kaho'ohalahala is my,
Oh,
is
you're not
my
going to
classmate.
I used to babysit his kids. When I was
crazy.
14, it was my first job, babysitting Uncle Saul's kids.
Yeah, Saul is my classmate.
Oh, he's your classmate.
yeah, I
That's
think we
awesome.
were actually in the same dorm.
He's in what do you call it now? He's in politics now in Maui, right?
There's a representative. from that
Representative.
area,
That's
yeah.
right. That's such a great family.
Oh.
Thank you so much for joining us. You got to come back because we have so much more
Yeah, we
to
have
talk
plenty of
about.
people to
Well,
talk
he
about.
gonna
Yeah.
come to
Many
your.
people
He
in
go-
my class, have gone on to do things. John Osorio was my roommate.
Oh, really?
My first singing partner. Keola and Kapono were some of my first singing
Yeah, we have
partners.
so much more to talk about. But
Yeah,
thanks
he's
for
gonna come with
taking
you
time.
to your storage locker.
Yeah.
To your
Oh,
storage.
I have
space.
2.
Oh, you have two.
All of the recording stuff is in one place, and all of the memorabilia stuff.
Is it air
in
conditioned?
Yes, both
Okay.
places are. That's
No,
why
Climate controlled.
I'm
I
really
believe is
serious
what it is.
about if you'd like some help
This
with
is 11
transferring all that
times
stuff. I'd love to help
packaged
you
for somebody.
figure it out because there's a lot of like
Take a
we
drink.
was talking to Gaylord.
Every time he says
He's like, I don't know where to start. I'm like, you got to
Yes.
transfer all that stuff first of all.
Yeah, the age of technology. It's
Yeah.
not like you learn to use what
Brooke
you
doesn't
need
want to help
learn.
you, but I'll help you.
I didn't know what a podcast was until I came
on
here.
the table,
I mean, I
brah.
know that they're everywhere. I
Yeah.
wasn't exactly sure what I was getting myself involved in. So you learn technology the best you can.
Yeah.
But it's like, again, I'm not trying to get wordy, but Hawaiian language, if you learn it as a young person, it becomes normal and easy to speak.
Right.
If you learn
Yeah.
it later, on
later,
in life,
it's a
Yeah.
little bit clunky.
I can read, I can write. If you talk to me, I can understand what you're saying. It's just that it takes a couple more minutes to formulate the conversation to
Yeah,
reply
yeah.
because you're still thinking in English and having
Right.
to translate it in Hawaiian. And unless you can get over that hump,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
it's
hard.
still difficult. So for me, it's a
Yeah.
constant.
I went to class last
Makanda ni
year.
Sala. Hi.
I couldn't do it. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for coming on.
Jerry Santos,
So
ladies and
appreciate
gentlemen,
it.
make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell,
Don't give
and
us
thank you
comments.
guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks.
Ahui ho.
Bye.
Mahalo for inviting me.
Thank you. It's awesome.